3 pound greater.
What's up, chicks? Welcome to a Baker's Dozen. We're finally here. It's been a long time coming. Before I get started, I want to give a few shout outs. First, I want to shout out Shifted Media Group for giving me the opportunity and the chance to use their studio and the opportunity just to bring my vision to life. Second, I want to shout out my dog Elisa for coming up with a name. That's a dope ass name. Third, I want to shout out the cover artist. It's on my page. Y'all go follow him. Make sure y'all get some work done. And last but not least, I want to thank all my friends and family who helped support me, motivate me, anything it helped to get me on this path to get where I am today. Like you're truly appreciated. Man, so I've been trying to do this podcast for a long time, man. I'm just glad it's here. I really using this platform to try to uplift Tampa. Like this is a strictly Tampa podcast and everything Tampa supported. Like no matter what it is, I'm trying to support you, put everybody on in the city because I feel like we lack a lot of that in our city. So with that being said, I would like to introduce my guest. This man is somewhat of a renaissance man. You feel me? A modern day renaissance man, modeling, rapping, comedian, nigga drug deal on the side too. No, I'm just playing. Well, I'm just playing. We don't do that. But yeah. But hey, we here. Shout out my dog Roscoe for being here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So I'm trying to remember where we met. I'm trying to remember. Was it house party or something like that? I think
I believe it was house party when
it
we
was
was
either
on Waters.
house party or Twitter. One of those two I
Either
met
or.
you on.
Yeah, either or.
And like since we met, it's honestly been like we I just knew like it was something more that we like that a connection wasn't having. Like we knew we could do something more with whatever. Like we met for a reason type shit.
Definitely,
So
definitely.
um like what's been going on with you? How you living?
Shit, just living, man. Been getting on, you know what I'm saying? Still working to do my modeling and whatnot. Trying to more so move around the country with it. It's not trying to stay too local, you know?
Nah, for sure, for sure. So I know you used to be a rapper and you transitioned to modeling. Like tell me about that.
I always got a love for music, but I took music more in a career sense at a time instead of more of a hobby. Um, Thing about it is, it's just like I know modeling has more lanes for me, so you go for what works for you. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
So yeah, I was honestly the same thing. You know, I used to fuck with the rap shit too, but like I was thinking, like, damn, this is what everybody does. Like, what is something that I can use my voice in, but also have the same effectiveness of getting across a message? And I
right.
when I honestly thought about it, podcasting was the first thing that popped in my mind. So I definitely had to switch lanes and take this more serious than I did the other thing, and I
Definitely.
think it's gonna be a blessing in disguise, to be honest, because nobody's doing this. This is like a open lane for anybody to get in, like to be honest. So I'm glad I'm trying to be one of the first.
I feel that 100%, man.
Nah, for sure, for sure. But like, um, yeah, man. But honestly, it started during COVID. I ain't gonna lie, that COVID really like it's messed up a lot of lives, but it truly helped me learn a lot of things about myself, about like life in general, because like at any second, I never knew that they can possibly like it never happened. Like they can take away your your livelihood, like your, your job,
Right.
how you make money. Like so I had to make a or do something different, different route to make something or make a way instead of doing the same old,
Definitely.
shit. So um how did COVID affect you? Like, what did you learn to take away from COVID?
COVID affected me in many ways. It had a lot of, friendships, certain people that you might not see every day. You started to understand like without seeing them folks every other day, they don't got the same love for you and whatnot. Business stuff like me doing modeling and stuff. Once COVID hit, I couldn't travel, and that really messed me up quite badly because I could still work locally, but I was trying to do it across the country,
Yeah,
get my name out there type thing. That really messed me up. But all in all, I like to say it made me stronger, truthfully, because I had to realize, all right, I can make a shake from the house down there. You know what I'm saying? Like certain things we already know we could do, but we didn't realize how important it was to basically do it to keep
facts. I
yourself
think it
afloat.
was the actually like people taking away, like like I said, our livelihood. Like people
Right.
going to work, people weren't able to get to their jobs. They had to have a source of income. So
Hmm.
I think one thing I took away from COVID is being self sufficient, being
Definitely.
able to provide for yourself, and without having to go through all these people because you're providing for yourself and you don't got to go through all these outside people.
Right.
Just being more like just noticing that like that shit can change at any time. So if you always got this, you can always have something to fall back on instead of just
Exactly.
flopping all the way. You feel me? So
Exactly. It's better to run your own trap than to work for somebody else, truth be told. That's whatever you do, you know what I'm saying?
totally true, totally
Yeah.
true. But another thing, like you just recently had a child. Like I know COVID. I don't like how is that with COVID? I know they probably have restrictions in the
Yeah,
hospitals and
definitely.
things. Like how was that experience?
It was definitely different. Because with COVID, you couldn't have visitors off in the hospital room and whatnot. It was just me and the mother of my child. The mother of my child actually caught COVID while she was pregnant.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, it was a big shock to me, honestly. You know, thank God they made it. So it was a real eye opener, and it made you just appreciate the ones that you have because you never know how easy it is for you to lose them. So I think that was like a big thing for me, and then also just becoming a parent again. It's not really again because I already had a child.
Yeah.
It's like it's a blessing,
Was it
honestly.
was it different from the first time than the second time? I know
It
the
definitely was.
circumstances were probably different, but with the COVID and everything. But did it feel different the second time than the
It
first
definitely
time?
felt different because like the first time I was very young when I had a child, so like
Yeah.
I was I didn't know how great of a feeling it was. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So when I was able to sit there and hold my son in my arms, like, and just know they depend on you for everything, and it's just a whole different feeling, man.
Nah, yeah, that's a feeling. Like I shout out all the
Definitely.
dads, like especially black dads, because
Right.
we need more examples of black father figures in our community. I feel like we lack a lot of those, and those who actually are there and doing their job that they're supposed to. Like I commend them, and they should get the highest praise. I feel like because it's not a lot. People aren't.
Definitely, man.
Yeah, so shout out to you for being a good dad and you making sure like everything is straight with your family and shit. Like I aspire to one day be a dad because I feel like that's one of the best experiences you could possibly have in your life. Honestly, like having a little you, like
Yeah.
how can you beat that?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. But yeah, that's what's up. But let's talk about the city, man. Tampa, man, we've been up for a minute. I honestly feel like we got the best city in the world. No discussion. You put
Right.
anywhere. Like but this sports got our city kind of lit right now. Like we really the city of champions. We got Tom Brady, we got the Rays, we got the Lightning going back to back. Like I feel like it's doing great things for the city, but at the same time, it's affecting the I
The
want to
city type
yeah at the
thing,
same
basically.
like
Yeah.
yeah it's affecting the city at the same time. It's good and also bad. Like they're tearing down like communities that children have lived in their whole lives. Like this is their only thing. Like
Yeah.
I understand you wanted to, but you can't. Like some shit you just can't do. You could probably like move around it, but like
Definitely.
but the good like it's so much money in the city. Like it's bringing so much new opportunities for to expand and be bigger than like if you feel me you already are. Like potentially putting us as like one of the mainstays in like the United States as a city
Right.
wise, vacation wise, and all that stuff. So what do you think? Like how do you feel like it affected the city, good or bad? The winning and people like all that stuff.
Um, that's one time that I can say I seen the city come together for real, man. Like
True.
you know, Raymond James being turned up like that all down Mabry, and just seeing the whole city from Ybor to downtown just really turn up as one. Like that was really a beautiful thing to see, especially being from Tampa, you know, and having Tom Brady here, like that's amazing, man. Because we all saw Tom over the years just do amazing things, and for him to come here and do that, it's just like, damn, it's almost unbelievable.
Right.
The sad part about it is that, you know, with money comes change.
True.
So with our city, you know, there was a lot of parts of the city that they might not be very favorable of, you know, or like they might not really cherish it too much to where we cherish it. So to them, that was a flaw in the city. Like when you look at like West Tampa and things like that, you know, they took that all away. And that's something you can't really take back. You know, certain neighborhoods and stuff like that we grew up in, we'll never be able to go back to those neighborhoods. And that's something that really hurts us as much as it can be, oh, the city's turning up. A lot of the city isn't here anymore for the people who are actually from the city. Yeah,
true.
But it made a lot of opportunities, but it also took away a lot of, you know, a lot of memories. A lot of those memories are really just gonna be known in your head, or those pictures, you know.
Nah, for sure. Like when the Super Bowl was here, like even if we weren't in it, like it was so many new clubs. And all, like it was so much shit opening like during that week. Like I have never seen so much like just happening in the city at once. Like the Bucks haven't been relevant in like it was
shit years.
Like it's damn near my whole childhood, damn near shit. But once we got that key, and then we started it and we went on that run and everything, like it was really magical. Because like the last time we won the Super Bowl was 2002. I was like probably 8, 9 years old.
I was in the second grade when that happened, man.
It wasn't the same like as it hit as an adult. Like I was like overjoyed because like I've been a fan forever. Like to go through those ups and downs, and so it was mostly downs though, and then to finally get over the top, bro. Like that shit was one of the best feelings I ever had.
And
like as a fan of sports, and we did it in our own stadium, like the first team to ever do that. Like
historic,
insane. And we did it with Tom Brady. Like, come on now, you can't beat that at all, man.
There, man.
For sure. So to get into something else, man, like who are some of your favorite artists in the game right now?
In the game right now, man, I'm really loving Florida artists. Like I'm fucking with Hot Boy, I like Jack Boy, you know. In the city, I like LA, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of different things. I myself feel like the city of Tampa is really going up in all when it comes to music. There's a lot of those artists coming up. I can't really name them off the top because there's just so many of them.
Like, I got look to me.
Yeah.
My favorites in the city, man. Y'all probably know him, bro. But like my boy LB Clo, my boy Nell Chopper, my boy my girl Pyro the Poet, one of the best in the city, man. Shout out to LA, Taliban Duda. We got Bro Boy T9. I'm talking about like we literally had the I feel like we had a run, and I feel like we just got to keep that shit going, bro. We can't stop. Like we can't get complacent. We got to keep pushing this shit. That's why, honestly, I feel like I'm here to try to be a platform for other artists to come put their work out and see what's going on, for other people to tap in. You feel me? Because I feel like we got so much potential in our city, man, and we just like people don't fuck with you until you're up, man, and that's the sad thing because
it's horrible, honestly.
It's people. We got talent in our city, is for sure. So I just want everything to be different as far as being able to put people on and them to not, you feel me, as a group, like collectively, not just individually. So
right. Spread the
once
love.
we take that to the next level, I feel like Tampa is gonna be unstoppable.
Definitely.
As a whole, you feel me? So like, but let's get back to that modeling shit. Like what made you want to do that?
Like, truth be told, man, like I never thought about doing modeling. Like I never thought about doing modeling. Like I
ain't gonna lie, I ain't never thought about that shit until I seen you on that bitch. I was like, man.
it
What a
was crazy.
photographer.
Yeah, it was crazy. So like, it was actually my homegirl tripping off my pearl shit. Y'all go
Yes,
fuck
sir.
with her.
Yes,
She
sir.
actually asked me to come do a photo shoot one time, and she was just doing it just to practice, and that shit just went up. Like it was just such a good vibe. And then my boy uh, Cameron,
Yes,
he
sir.
from Riverview area,
From
Temp
the
area,
city,
like
yes,
yeah, you know what I'm
sir.
saying. But he up in New York right now doing his thing, and like he really put me on with that. He told me I could actually do it, and I never really took it that serious until I actually started taking pictures, and they went up like tremendously on Twitter, and you know what I'm saying. Like they didn't go as viral as what everybody should do,
But you got
but
to start somewhere, though.
exactly. And I
For
knew
sure.
what lane was open for me to go, so
Facts, huh?
I just stayed on it ever since. Shit just worked for me. You know what I'm saying?
That's real, bro. Like I feel
Definitely.
like we don't have. I'm not gonna say we don't have enough models, but I feel like people don't go into that lane. Like that lane is obviously, like, honestly
Right.
wide open.
Yeah.
Like people so used to doing the same typical thing of what we rapping, we doing this, we doing that, instead of like out like, without knowing that it's so many things in the entertainment business. If you're trying to reach that goal, it's other ways to get into the game besides
Yeah.
those. Like I think we just but I'm glad you're opening doors for yourself and others for being like one of the ones to step out and be in front of the modeling shit that we got going on in the city of Tampa. So
Right.
shout out to you for that. All right, so recently, I know you've been hearing about the Kodak and Jack Boy beef, or
Yeah.
the so-called beef they've been having going on with each other. A lot of back and forth, a lot of seem like petty shit to me, to be honest. But I just want to get your opinion on the situation. I feel like Jack Boy was, and from what I know of the situation, I feel like Jack Boy was in the right the whole time. I feel like this is one of your friends. You don't want to go back and forth with your friends, um, especially someone you respect and somebody who helped put you on. I feel like you wouldn't be trying to do no grimy shit to them, like that type of person. Somebody you say you fuck with.
Right.
So for Kodak to come out the way he did, I feel like it was kind of wrong in this situation. But I really don't know the full situation. But from what I know, I feel like Jabbo was in the right. But
Yeah.
I just want to get your opinion on the situation.
Um, that's basically how I look at it. Honestly, is like I don't know the whole situation. So like to me, I kind of looked at it like Jet Boy makes sense, Kodak makes sense, but for some reason there's just something missing in the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So to me, when they were just going back and forth as friends, I don't do that with my people. Like we don't fall out like that. I'm not gonna put your dirty laundry out there, anything like that. So that's how I feel like there's something more to it. Because if it's just over money, that just don't make sense to me. Something that had to be a little extra to it. You know what I'm saying? So
For sure, for sure. And I feel like it was like just some back and forth. Because I guess the homeboy, was the kid had passed away.
right,
Kodak had reached out to try to squash the beef. I got a question for you. Because I can't answer it myself. Why does it take somebody to die in order, or somebody to get hurt or harmed in order for people to stop like doing what they're doing? Like they know they beefing with each other and they know what this shit can lead to, but it takes somebody getting hurt in that situation for them to, oh, now I want to stop doing. You feel me? Like, why do you
right.
think that is?
Truly, I believe it's just it's the streets. People be so caught up in trying to prove something so much to the next person, and sometimes, like I said, it's deeper than that. Something's way deeper than that because RIP Wiz, but we don't know what really happened there.
Nah, for
So
sure.
like every day you lose your friends and stuff. You argue with people. You get in arguments with folks, and you don't realize any given day you might lose them. It's kind of sad that we have to lose people to realize that, but I'm happy that we realize it.
No, for sure. I just hate that I like our people.
Right,
We have to. It takes something traumatic to happen for us to realize the bigger picture.
right,
Instead of, I don't understand why we can't understand that at the beginning. Like,
yeah. I think that's more so just people who still think inside the box.
yeah,
As sad
just
as it is, like
open
when you
minded. It's
can't,
true, true, true.
yeah, like if you can't think really past the streets, you aren't gonna think outside of the streets. Someone who can't really see a bigger thing. You know, that's the sad thing about like people of that high caliber who have the money, because you know you see Jack Boy in Dubai, you see Kodak in these big places, you know, with all this money, and it's
Right.
like you got to start realizing like people look up to you, bruh. And
Facts.
you see these things outside of the streets where the people who look up to you don't see
Facts.
that.
You gotta start moving
You
differently.
have to start moving different and start
And,
letting people know life
but
is bigger
I
than
want to say
me.
you got I'm not gonna let me put it like this. I don't think you have to start moving differently, but you just
Right.
gotta understand how much influence you have on
Right.
other people as well as the younger generation, because that's the ones who's paying attention to all this. Like honestly, like
Right.
they gonna follow the whole beef into, like, you feel me, because that's what they do.
And
That's
they
what,
don't know the actual
and they don't
backstory,
know
and
the
all we know
backstory. So all
is
they know
yeah,
is to attack instead of, you feel me, trying to do
exactly.
something different, or, like, you feel me.
Or even
So
like you say, you know, people look up to Kodak. There's kids who look up to Kodak. There's kids who look up to Jack Boy. You know, so by the way you handle situations, someone who's younger might look at that and think that's the right way to handle it. Whereas it's like you could have went and talked to that man one on one type
facts
thing, and
and
you would probably got way further had you
facts
spoke
and
one on one.
settle that shit in, like,
Exactly.
with just a conversation. I feel like I don't people just don't know how to communicate. I feel like
Yeah.
you got to learn how to communicate with people, bro. Everybody not gonna feel the same way you do,
Right.
so just go see what they think, see how they feel, and then you tell them
Exactly.
how you feel, and then y'all come to just a compromise, so that a way, like a
Exactly.
meet in the middle of how y'all can solve this problem without it getting to the next
Like
level
the
type
biggest
shit.
thing is that you don't have to agree with somebody, but you have to accept it.
You can respect their
Yeah,
opinion
you
at the end of the
respect it. You
day.
know what I'm saying? That's more so what it is. And even if you don't respect it, just keep it to yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, this kind of gonna switch up the whole conversation, but I got a question I was thinking about. It's about women actually.
Yeah.
So in a relationship, um, why do women only feel that they have to give you loyalty in order for you to give them everything that they desire? Like, I feel like some women are okay with, like, only giving, saying that, oh, I don't talk to nobody else, so that should make you automatically want to do everything for me just because I don't talk to other niggas.
Right.
Like, why do you think females think that way? And I know you're not a female, so you can't
Yeah, I can't
really,
really speak on them, but I can give
but
you my
just
opinion.
your opinion on, like, why you think that happens.
I feel like that's more so of a shallow female. They don't
Yeah,
really think deeper on things because it's like some of us value way more than loyalty. You know what I'm saying? Like you just taking care of little small things for me that mean the world to me type thing. Like don't get me wrong, every man wants his girl to be loyal, but I want to be cared and nurtured for. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
not everybody can really provide that. Like a bad bitch to themselves, they might, you know what I'm saying? They might consider themselves. I go out to the club and all these rich niggas talk to me. You know what I'm saying? And I turn them down for you. I turn them down for you when it's like, bro, hell, like I want you to cook for me. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like
facts.
I want you to just roll something up for me. You know,
Rub a nigga
like
back or
make me, yeah.
something.
You know what I'm saying? Make me feel wanted. Make me feel different. Make me feel
Facts,
special. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, like this is, you know, you want your man to feel like this is his kingdom and he's your king.
facts. And he the king. He
Yeah, and a
run that
lot of
shit.
women just carry it with loyalty, and then they wonder why. Oh, he want to be around his homeboys all the time because they provide me loyalty too.
Facts.
You
True.
feel me?
I could get the same thing from somewhere else.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a lot of women will provide you loyalty. Not every woman gonna love you. That's a big difference.
Facts.
But that's, you know, that's my opinion on it. I can't really.
So like, another question with that. What do you think in this generation? What do you think they're like? Do you think they still believe in love like our parents used to? Like, do you think it's still the same? Do you think it's changed? Do you
I
think
believe people look in love in the wrong places. You
true?
feel me? I feel like a lot of people they want to be loved by people that don't love them back. That's
Mhm.
like a big thing. Like I feel like, you know, it's like every day people talk about, oh, I go to the club and go pull some bitches, this, that, third, and shit. You feel me? And they think that they're gonna go find love off in a club,
Yeah.
and they get with a girl, then they try to change who that girl is.
And they end
You
up
know,
breaking
and
up,
then they
breaking his heart.
realize, damn, I'm not really in love with this person. I was, you know, I was attracted by their looks.
Facts.
When it's like maybe if you went to a place that you enjoyed going to,
Facts.
you would find somebody that you like to be with. Like if you like to read, maybe you should go to a library and you'll find a girl that you know what I'm
Facts, a
saying. That's more
bookstore or
for you.
something.
Exactly.
sure.
Like if you like cars or something, you might find a girl out there doing some stuff like that. But you
Facts,
have
go
to
to
go.
Causeway or some shit.
Yeah, you
feel
feel me?
You know,
Like
you
look.
facts.
You know what I'm saying? If you're looking for something, you need to look where you want it to be
Facts.
at the end of the day.
Oh my, like my homegirl be saying this shit all the time. She said, what she be saying? Fuck with who fuck with you, type shit. So you know if somebody fucking with you.
Exactly.
So to get at, like, if you feeling that person, just fuck with them the same way they fuck
Right.
with you, and that shit could.
And
I feel
even
like it could
then,
never go
yeah,
wrong.
even then, I find like a lot of people, like I said, they want love from somebody who don't love them back.
Facts.
So they'll find somebody who's really attractive to them, and they'll be like, "Damn, she's so
You
fine,"
try to give them
and
all
I'm gonna
the
give her everything. I'm gonna go buy
Facts.
this, that, third, and stuff. This girl never liked you in the first place.
never work.
So it's like, hell, if somebody, if you feeding a dog every day, that dog might not find no loyalty in you. But hell, you feed him every day, so he gonna come back.
He gonna
But at the
come
end of the
back
day, that's
every
not
day.
his home. You know what I'm saying? And you can't get mad at that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't take a dog off the streets and assume that he's gonna be a house pet after that. He gonna come eat, but that's not your dog. You know what I'm saying? So like that's the truth. And people don't really look at it like that. They look at it like, oh, once I fund her or I sponsor her, she can't switch teams on me. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Once you
Like,
sign this contract with me,
exactly.
She can't go nowhere.
It's like, folks think they got ownership of things that don't belong to them. Basically, that's how I look at that. Especially with love,
I feel you. So, like, you just start dating a chick. Y'all just start dating, and like, so how often you think you should see your significant other, or your spouse or whatever? How often?
Me, I'm like I ain't gonna cap. I'm an everyday type person. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't gotta see you every day.
But I want to see you every day.
Yeah, but I want to see you every day because it's like, bro, when I like you, I like you. It's like, bro, I want you. You feel me? I want you around me every given moment, no matter what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're free to come here with this interview, you should be. You know what I'm saying? Right here with me or over there. Yeah. Like, you feel me? Like that's how I look at things like that. I don't really look at it like, oh, I deserve all your time because you got to work. You know what I'm saying? You got your times with your girls and stuff like that. But hell, if you ain't at the house, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you ain't doing something else, you're gonna be with me, like, or I'm gonna be with you, like, we gonna do whatever we gotta do. Like, you feel me?
That's real. That's real. Yeah, I feel with this. I feel the same way. Like, yeah, if I like you, like I'm trying to be in your skin to skin all the time.
Like, right in your pocket.
I ain't trying to go away. You feel me? So I'm trying to hold you. So I know you can't go nowhere type shit. So
I'm like your lashes. You feel me? You ain't trying
to
lose me. I ain't
can't
go
nowhere without them type
shit. You feel me?
Yeah, that's a real shit though. But yeah, hell yeah. So you currently single, my boy?
Nah, man.
Nah.
Yeah, nah.
So I was trying to ask you, like, what is one thing you learned from your last relationship that you take, like, that you always gonna take with you, type shit? But like, I can still ask you that type shit.
Yeah, of course.
What's one thing you took from your last relationship and you try to use it into like your new relationships? Like,
I mean, like, I really had to look at it like I'm not perfect. I'm not always right.
Oh, for sure.
That was some shit that really hit me that you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really hard to swallow that pill that you ain't, you know what I'm saying? Facts. It's not like necessarily like knowing of everything type thing, but certain things you got to look at both sides, and then you start to realize like maybe I was wrong in this situation,
For sure.
So I had to take fault and take responsibility for my actions and certain things, and not really try to put it on others. And I was like, it's a growing thing, honestly.
So basically, accountability. That's
accountability. That was a huge thing for me, man.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people have a trouble with that, male and female. I feel like most people be trying to get into a relationship with people and they still be broken. Like they can't. Yeah. You gotta be able to fix yourself before you put yourself for somebody to. You feel me?
Exactly.
To be open to somebody. You feel me? So that's definitely a key. And I feel like we need these dating experiences and going through these people and relationships. Like everything might not be good or bad, but you need to take from the experience and make sure you're learning in every step, so you won't make the same mistake again. Yeah. Especially in relationships, because that shit's kind of like
everything's like trial and error. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to relationships,
for sure. Because some people might like some things and some others might not like the same thing. So like. That shit really tricky. Relationships are really tricky, especially nowadays. Because I honestly don't feel like I feel like people just don't know what they want. Like, and I'm one
I
of those
agree.
people who
Yeah, I
like
agree.
some days I want some hoes, some days I'm trying to be married with kids. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it's never no in between though.
yeah,
So, um, but accountability is huge. Like once you come to grips with yourself as a person and how you carry yourself and what your likes and dislikes is, I feel like you can help some. That's when you're able to come or join with somebody else and make them a better person, or
yeah.
like you guys are able to grow as a couple or a relationship when things are like that. Um, also want to talk about like what are like some qualities that you look when you're looking for your woman, like what qualities? I'm not talking about physical qualities, which it can be physical quality, but I'm talking about like just qualities, characteristics of a person that they have to have for you to be attracted to them.
I mean, like we all gonna say loyalty, obviously. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
That's I feel like that's biggest on everybody's list. But I also feel like being caring and very gentle, if that makes sense. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? Like
True.
I would want somebody to be gentle because I want to have kids. So
Facts.
I want you to be gentle with my kids. I don't want someone who's always aggressive and stuff like that. And even after that, like someone who has like I don't know really the word for it, but has good intentions. You know what I'm saying? Like
Nah,
you might
facts.
not always do the right thing, but when you have good intention to do
You
the
it was
right
always
thing,
good behind it.
exactly, you meant to do good. And that's
Facts.
that's like a big thing. Like a lot of people they move with a lot of hate in their heart and a lot of spite. I don't really want to be with somebody who has to feel as if they got to get even, or you know what I'm saying, or
Right.
just move with just hating their heart in general. You should move with I want to move positive and do things
Facts.
for the better. You know
For,
what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
for sure, for sure. So me personally, like I look for one of the main things I look for is like I need a woman with like a personality, like a outgoing personality,
Mm,
one that's gonna like match mine, because like I'm a pretty outgoing dude in the most part, you feel me? So like I need you to be able to match that energy along with like being funny and all that other stuff that comes along with it. You feel me? Like those be my type of matches where we can like connect at a different level. Like if
right.
we both making each other laugh, like that's the type of shit I fucks with.
Yeah,
Like it'd be a different
definitely.
type of vibe. But do you have any aspirations of getting married?
Of course, like I don't want to always say dating is always like the end. I mean, marriage is the end of dating every time because sometimes you can be dating somebody that you necessarily simply don't think you're gonna marry them. You usually will try to end that quick because you'll realize the future isn't gonna last that long. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
But I always had like the aspiration of wanting to marry somebody and actually, like take that. I really always wanted to have a family type thing.
For sure. Like growing up, the examples we're given on like television where like we used to get most of this shit, because like in the black community, like we not going to that many marriages. We
Right.
not going to weddings and shit. Like so
Right.
we get most of our examples from television. So we seen Bill Cosby on the Cosby Show. We seen all these other shows with the wife and the parent, but like actual black couples and black marriages and all that stuff, it
Right.
was almost rare. So I really get my shit from like movies with white people in it. So you see the white people, they got the dog, they got the wife, they got the big house, they got the green grass, they got the white picket fence, they got all this shit. So for some reason, I always vision myself as the same way,
Right.
in that same type of lifestyle, in this nice community filled with, you feel me, living
Yeah.
my life with my family
In
type
the
shit.
suburbs
So
and whatnot. Yeah.
I always aspire for that, and I still do to this day. So I feel like until like I have to have that, like that's something that I desire in my life to have. Just, you feel me? So shit, nigga, gonna keep waiting. If you listening to this and you need a husband,
Mhm.
I'm here and I'm ready. Hit me up. But not pack. But on the real, I feel like this generation don't look at marriage the same as like our parents do. I feel like most people are comfortable with just having a situationship that lasts forever. Like y'all are
Right.
together, like you don't need no name, no title, or nothing on top of it.
Right.
Like they're able to go like that, and I'm definitely not one of those type of people. Like
Yeah.
ain't no way I'm dating somebody for 10 years and I don't know if she gonna be my wife or not. Like nah, we just bullshitting.
Right.
Like I feel like people are getting a lot of comfortable like with that, and I feel like we need more examples of love in our community, like more marriages or more weddings, more people getting married and shit, because
Right.
how else are we supposed to show these kids the love or any other examples
You
of
know,
all
show
this
the
other if they
example of
never
it.
see it? So I
Right.
know I never seen it, or what examples I have, that shit might not be realistic. So let's give them some realistic goals to obtain. Like, oh, you can find your wife, you can meet your wife, and y'all can get married, and y'all can be successful, and you can have a happy life type shit. Because
Right.
I feel like that's at the end of the day. I believe, me personally, I believe that's what everybody want, or
Definitely.
everybody should desire to want
Yeah.
a family, or somebody, at least somebody to grow old with. You don't have to
Yeah.
have kids or everything, but just somebody to grow old with, somebody to stay by your side, somebody who's gonna have your back in life, no matter what the situation is.
Mhm.
I feel like once we get to a certain age, it's really nobody in our corner, to be honest. Like we might have certain family members, you might have some, like, but they're not gonna be here forever. So what happens
Right.
when they go away and when they start doing shit on their own, or when they find the love of their life and now you're out here by yourself and you're feeding for yourself? Like,
Yeah. I
how are
think
you gonna
like
be able to, you feel me,
a lot of people actually fear
being
that type
alone?
of thing. They like
Yeah,
they fear being alone, so they keep these situationships going. They also don't want to deal with a lot of people.
I ain't gonna lie, I be scared to be alone too, cause like I just like I done lost so much, like just in life, like people around my life or people in my life. I lost so much, so I always want to be around somebody. Like that's what
Yeah.
I feel. That's what I feel. Or just me
Yeah.
personally, like I always need to be, like I just always want to feel love type shit. Like
Right. I feel that.
no matter what, like I just always want to feel like it's somebody that out here, like they fucking love me, and I know for a fact, like I got somebody that, you feel me, not even live for, but to
Right.
just the, you feel me, you feel positive or more better about yourself, like when you know it's
Yeah.
people in your corner fighting for you type shit. So
A big thing that I was on when it came to things like that, because at one point I was just like, you feel me, like I kept my situationships, like
first,
I held on to folks because I was like, I don't want to be alone, like I was scared of that type shit. But
first,
I really just started to like really enjoy my own company and start to love myself, you feel
nah,
me?
so I feel like
Yeah.
solitude is a big thing. Being alone, being able to be alone with yourself and your
Right.
thoughts, and being able to get through that shit. Like some people just don't like being alone type shit. Like
Yeah.
that's a big thing.
But truth be told, I feel like everybody deserves a long time. I feel
No,
like
first, I feel
you
like
should really take some time to yourself to where you don't talk to nobody
that's when you
else.
learn the most about yourself. I feel
Yeah.
like when you're alone, you're quiet, like all your thoughts are racing, like you start to figure shit out. Honestly, if it if you're thinking long enough, you start to figure shit out. Or I
Right.
think you should be on, like you're trying to. So
Right.
with that being said, like I be in my head a lot. Like sometimes, like I don't see. I be like self I can't think of the word right now. Like self-diagnosing myself all the
Hmm.
time. So like I honestly, it'd be days I wake up and I be like, I'm not gonna say depressed, but I be feeling down and shit. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It could be like the energy or something just be off, and I just don't be
Right.
feeling like myself, and I don't want to be associated with anybody type shit. And that's when I feel like everybody be trying to hit you up, and everybody be trying to fuck with you and shit when you're trying to be alone and shit.
Right.
And then when you be alone and you want somebody to hit you up, nobody ever hits you up. Have you ever been in that position? Like you ever felt like you were like not everybody was against you, but you felt like it was nobody on your side type shit. Like
Man, like sometimes I could wake up just sad. Like I'd be mad at the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like nobody with me. I feel like I'm against everybody type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you just feel that way sometimes. But truth be told, it's like, you came in this world alone, you're gonna leave alone.
Facts.
And you really can't look at it like nobody's with me. You got to be like, I'm with myself. I'm not alone because I got myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I the way I stopped really getting depressed about a lot of stuff is I started competing with myself. I stopped looking at what everybody else got going on simply because I was like, shit, that don't got nothing to do with me. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're all not blessed with certain opportunities or certain stepping blocks to get to certain places. So I try not to get myself depressed if, all right, I'm not in this position or I'm not with this person or this, that, the third and stuff, because it's like I put a lot of stuff into God's hands. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
if anything didn't break me, it made me stronger, and I'm still here. So,
Nah, for sure.
you know what
So
I'm saying?
like, uh,
Try to take the positive out of it more so is what I'm trying to say. Like, I wake up, I can be depressed, but I'll just be like, well, shit, I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? I
nah,
got
for
two
sure.
sons
Like
that, yeah,
we honestly, like, I feel like we're human, so we tend to always focus on the
yeah,
bad shit, like just because like it's bad shit. Like it's hard to get over the bad shit. You don't really ponder on the good shit. You be on it for a second, and then you want to do some other good shit. That bad shit, you
right,
let that shit pile up, and now you're
yeah,
in this funk. You can't do anything. Now you're fucked up, and people like see me personally. When I get that way, I smoke a lot more weed. Like I just continuously roll up. Like I'm not trying to think about anything. I'm just trying to be high so I don't have to think about, like, so it just suppresses the thoughts in the back of my head. So like did you ever have that like experience with like drugs or anything? Like
yeah, man. Like, I was at one point to where I was messed up on pills and whatnot. Like, I was pretty bad off
what kind of pills?
Xanax.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
see,
saying? Like,
it
it
was,
was, yeah,
bruh, but like a lot of that shit came from what, wait, let me guess what year it was. This when Future was first popping, they was talking about all that shit.
2015,
Yeah,
2016.
so the niggas was talking about all that shit in their music, so
Right,
that's what niggas resorted to.
right. And that's a big thing too, also. But when it hit the streets, when you got easy
Access.
accessibility to it,
Yeah.
it's a better chance that you're gonna use it. And it just happened like that more so. I thought it was just gonna be like a creative drug almost, and
Nah,
I
facts.
fell victim to it. And it's not something I'm proud of. Only reason I can say I'm proud is because I overcame it. You
Oh
know what I'm
no, for
saying?
sure. A lot of people didn't overcome that shit. I
Right.
know
But
people probably still on that shit today.
what I
Like,
realized with it was that, like, it didn't really help my depression. It made my depression worse because when I like sobered up, I'd be in the same fucking
you're
position,
the same
or
person.
even worse because of the shit that made me go do some, you know what I'm saying,
Stupid
some
shit
shit
or
that I
say
wasn't
some
even.
stupid shit.
Exactly, bro.
True.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You would get calls the next day, somebody telling you said this, that, the third. You're like,
You
me?
don't even remember
You know what
that
I'm
shit.
saying? Like, you don't want to move like that, bro. Like,
Right.
you feel me?
But like with that being said, like I know like in the black community, like this shit is not like I ain't it's not talked about a lot. Like would you have went to a therapist or something like to would that have helped in
Truth
that
be
situation?
told, yeah, like, I recommend therapy to everybody, honestly. I really recommend, you know what I'm saying, have somebody to
Right.
vent to. Like, not everybody always gonna understand you.
Facts.
But when I went to therapy, I can honestly say, like, it helped me in some ways, but certain ways I could understand, like, well, I could see that he couldn't understand me simply
Facts.
because we
You
aren't
gotta help
related.
yourself.
You feel me? And that's like, I went to a white man for a therapist, and I felt like
Facts.
he couldn't
Understand the
understand
shit that you've been
what
through.
I'm really talking about. So
Fact.
it's like when I'm saying certain stuff, it's like, bro, your upcoming and my upcoming are two different things. Then sometimes you could even talk to someone who's black in your community, and they might just tell you some shit like, yeah, just tighten up. As
Yeah.
black men, we really don't get the chance to really
Open
vent,
open up.
yeah, and really talk about our mental health
And
because we
that's
supposed to
another
be
thing I
tough,
want to get into. Like, I know you got two sons, so what are you gonna do to teach them that opening up and crying about shit and being open about their emotions is okay? Like, because I know like as we grew, black men, we grow up, man. You a boy, man. Stop crying. You got
Right.
all these stigmas that we have to stick to, man. Men don't cry and all this shit, but like I feel like society is more accepting and more open to the change of men being able to express their feelings openly and actually just be themselves. And I feel like the next generation is gonna uh take it the most, because they're gonna get to see all these people doing these things
Right.
and being open as like men and higher positions and shit. Like, so they'll be comfortable with doing it around in their own, you feel me, or on their own. Besides like keeping all that shit bottled in like we usually tend to do.
Right.
So I feel like the more we're open about our problems and our transgressions and shit we go through on a day-to-day basis, I feel like we can be better off.
Mhm.
And a lot of shit can improve. Like, just the daily lives of a person can improve if you're getting the chance to talk about that,
Yeah.
stuff to somebody. Because I know if I had somebody to talk to when I was a kid, or if somebody would have actually listened. Like, parents don't be listening to the kids. Like, the kid could literally tell you what's going on, and you're gonna tell them like I remember my mother, not to put my mama out like this, but
Yeah.
I remember she used to tell me, like, when I used to get an attitude with shit, she was like, "You don't pay no bills. You don't got you can't you don't
Damn.
got no attitude. You can't have no attitude and not pay
Yeah.
bills." I was like, "Okay, well, let me not have no attitude. I don't pay no bills around this
You
bitch."
feel me? Yeah.
You feel me? So like shit like that, like the common stigmas, like we have to stop. We have to reinforce that. Reinforce it with new education and new teachings, so that they're available and people can like just know that it's different ways to doing stuff. I feel like, or I keep talking about our community because that's like what I'm really focused on, because that's like I feel like most of our problems. Like, I feel like we're so common to using the same methods of that we've been using for
Right.
however long we've been using these methods, and we haven't been open to new methods of, you feel me, like therapy, like other options besides whoopings and like shit like that. Like, just have a conversation with your child. Like, children literally tell you everything if you sit down and talk to them.
Right.
Like, that's all they be wanting to do sometimes.
Right.
And once you start ignoring them and not like acknowledging what they think and how they feel, like you're turning your child into like
Yeah.
a person that's gonna keep everything to themselves. They're not gonna tell you because nobody's, you feel me. So
Right. And that's really like a big problem with communication these days, when it comes to relationships and whatnot, because we couldn't even communicate to our own parents how we felt about certain things. So when it comes to communicating to somebody who, already looks at you as being somebody that's so, big, masculine or something like that, it's kind of hard to tell them, oh, I'm tripping about this, because they might look at you soft because of the way that we're brought up. And
right.
it's like, it's a hard thing to really get past, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I recently started, and I'm 27, I just recently started like
Right,
really
like
understanding.
I honestly didn't realize this shit until like I ain't gonna I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna say it was COVID, like being alone with myself, because I was alone with myself before that, like just
Mhm.
thinking in my mind, but like that shit had me thinking so much more, like it's just opened my mind to different things, and I was like trying to settle shit that was in within me type shit with myself, like things I had to overcome within myself, like just fear of doing things. Like, I got a fear of failing, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
I be like, me personally, I try to do everything 100%, like put my all to everything.
Right.
But when COVID started, like I had to like, man, fuck it. Like, you got to do this if you really want to do this. And if you think as long as you're putting as much work as you think you are behind the scenes to work into this and to get it to work, bro, you can't. Ain't
Right.
ain't no reason to be, you feel me, hiding behind the 8 ball and shit. Like, you got to go for it type
Right.
shit.
But that's something, that I teach my kids, is that, being able to speak on things and really go for things really have to do with yourself. It's a lot with your
First,
self-esteem, because we're
self-esteem
not really
and
confident enough. Yeah,
self-confidence.
we're not really confident enough to speak on certain things, or like tell these certain people,
First,
oh, I feel this way, because we're so concerned about, damn, they might look at me
and
different.
how other
You know what
people
I'm saying?
think.
When it's like, truth be told, you really shouldn't care how nobody look at you, because they're gonna look at you like that regardless.
Regardless, because
So it's like, if you could sit up here and vent to somebody and tell them, hey, like, that hurt me for real, and they're to use that against you. That ain't your people's anyways, and you really
Right.
shouldn't care what they think. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And it's hard for black men or the black community in general because we don't have too many people to lean on. You
Facts.
know what I'm saying? Like we have those very few people that we can honestly trust.
Facts.
So when we lose those trust in those people, or we feel as if
Like
those people might not respect us
it's honestly
anymore,
nowhere to go.
our biggest fears. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? And that's where people get caught up in these situationships because they're afraid to leave because they're like, damn, I might not find nobody else, or they don't want to communicate. Hey, I want you to do this different because you might look at me soft, like you might not like that, and that's really male and female. As a male, like I said, it happens a lot to where I'm just scared to really express myself to tell somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, this really made me feel this type of way. But I knew as growing older and getting confident with myself that I have to do that to make it work. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, so I just wanted to get your opinion on a situation that happened pretty close to home. Maya Mercado, a young lady who was killed by a man for whatever reason. Like, I just want to get your opinion on the situation.
It's just sick folks out there, man. Like, I wish there was more like education for stuff like that, or even to catch folks like that. But there's some sick folks out there, man. And I haven't really looked too deep in the case, but from what I was told, that she actually had her police report on him and whatnot. And I feel like more needs to be done when stuff like that happens. It's just wild and a sad situation, and for the family, it's just horrible.
Nah,
I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
for sure, for sure. Like, that's some crazy shit. Like that, uh, that domestic violence shit kind of like it hits home with me like kind of different because a few years ago, like I had my cousin was actually in the same situation,
Right,
and she was actually murdered by someone. Like, so when I hear stuff like this, like the first thing that comes to my mind like was, or like, did nobody know like this was this? Like, I feel like people always show signs.
right,
Like, it was, I feel like people always show that they're capable of doing like this type of stuff,
right,
but people overlook it because they're in love or they're, you feel me, like you just don't take it as serious as you would if it was like a random ass person.
right,
Or, but just because you're like it's your boyfriend, you're gonna like let it slide, you just gonna just cover it up type shit. I feel like women especially need to do not stop skipping over the red flags. Like, make sure you know everything about your person. Like, make sure you know this man on his best day and his worst day, because situations like this like, I'm not gonna say they happen often, but they happen way too much like than they actually should. This should never happen. And to me, I feel like women need more men friends, and men, we have to be more accountable for our women, even if they're just friends. You don't have to be having sex with this woman. Like, we honestly need to protect our woman, because it's men out here like that do stuff like this to women, and like it's terrible. It like it's insane to me.
right,
Like, it doesn't make sense, bro. Like, if a female doesn't like you, bro, it's a million other females out here that you could possibly entertain, or whatever it may be. Like, I don't think it should ever reach that level, ever, no matter what the situation is. And I just want, I don't like, it's tough to speak about it as well. Like, I don't want to, I couldn't even like imagine or put into words how, like, if that was my daughter, or if it was like, you feel me, how I
a
would feel
close
about that
family member to
situation. You
you.
feel me?
Yeah,
Like, I don't like, I don't think this way about no, I have no like hurtful bone in my body, but like, you hear some shit like that, you be ready to kill somebody, bro.
of course.
Like, you be
Yeah,
ready to retaliate, and the whole time, like, that ain't the right way either. But like,
yeah. That's one thing I always said is, I don't have remorse for anybody who can harm children or women.
Oh
You know
no,
what
for
I'm
sure.
saying? Because 9 times out of 10, the only reason they're doing that is because they know that they're more powerful.
Facts, and they can't do. They want to do that to a
Exactly.
man.
So it's like I never respected that too much, you know. So when it comes to men who act overpowering with women and things like that, that's clearly a red flag right there, you know. Like,
Sure.
you know it, and even as you said, we need to learn to protect women because honestly, like as black men, we believe we know we're the biggest target
Facts.
when actually a black woman is way bigger target. Really, a
Facts.
woman in general is a way bigger
Facts.
target.
That
You know. So with that being said, they could be sex trafficked. You know, they could be used for
facts.
organs. They could be used way more than what
Like
we could.
I want to say
Less of a fight,
they
also.
said like she was walking to her car or something. Or
I don't honestly know.
I'm not too familiar with all the
Yeah,
details, but I think she was leaving somewhere and she was followed by him or something like that along those
right.
lines, or whatever it may be. Like ladies, make sure you have like if you're going out, so make sure you have like it's okay to have one male friend like walk you to your car, like just or stay in groups. Make sure you guys are protected. Get your concealed license because you do not know what these men are capable of. You feel me? So
Right.
I encourage all women to get their concealed self-defense classes, tasers, whatever
Right.
it may be, like because like I just don't honestly me personally, I don't like seeing stuff like that because
Yeah, and even then, it's what comes with guns and comes with tasers and stuff is way more than just the protection. It's a responsibility,
first.
and I feel like with a lot of women, they find as if when we say these things to them, it's not necessarily us being like these men don't deserve some type of training because they do,
Facts.
but at the same time, with everything you do comes responsibility. So if I were to tell a girl to go get a gun, at least know what that gun is used for.
Oh
You
no, for
understand
sure,
what
for
I'm
sure.
saying?
Making sure you're
Yeah,
licensed, you got your license, you got everything.
yeah,
But women, you guys need a way to protect yourself, like
yeah. And know the proper steps to things. You know what I'm saying?
for
Like,
sure.
not every situation deserves for you to pull a gun out on
Oh
somebody
no,
type
for
thing.
sure. But if you ever like it, ladies, if you
Yeah,
ever
you feel
feel
threatened.
threatened,
Yeah,
like don't like don't just sit around that shit because you honestly don't know what's next. Like
right.
remove yourself from the situation. You can be in love with this man, but do not put yourself through that situation because you never know what it could escalate to. Like,
Yeah,
so just always be aware of yourself, always be aware of your partner, always be aware of what they're thinking, what their mental is. Like, you never know what somebody's going through or how they're thinking and unless you ask them. So if you don't know what's on this person's mind, like you'll never know if he's going if it's possible for him to do this to you. So just make sure you stay aware and just I like that's all I really can say. Just
yeah. Like my thing is more so like really, yeah, stay aware. You know what I'm saying? But know that you're a target. You know what I'm saying? You got to move more so as a target, and it sucks.
yeah, like
I hate to say that.
it's terrible that woman
Yeah,
because some women be scared for their life and then they like women don't deserve that. Like
yeah. You should be able to
you
live freely, go and
we
travel
like
alone
yeah
and
right
stuff.
like
Like,
we're men, we can walk around the street Philly, we feel like we able to protect ourselves at least with our hands. We don't gotta have no weapon, at least with our hands we strong enough to, but women don't have that same advantage. Like
exactly.
so just make sure you always protect yourself, man.
Yeah,
Like
start shooting these niggas for real.
t-
That's dead. That's how I look
to
at
be
that.
honest, bro,
Yeah,
like
like, cause see, we just at a point in time.
that's literally it seems like the only way.
Yeah, we're just at a
Like
point in
if it
time
has
where
to
they use
come to
their
that, like
advantage.
bro, that's the only way, bro. You do what you got to do, bro. Nobody ain't gonna look at you differently. Like you got to do what you got to do to get yourself out of that situation, no matter what.
Right.
Like you got to protect yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, I
So
look at it more so like you could look at it like how are people gonna look at me, but you'll still be here for people to look at you.
facts,
You know what I'm saying? So
facts.
sometimes you got to think about what's really worth it. Are you gonna come home or if you're not gonna come home? And it's like these men out here that are hunting you down and stuff. They don't care about the family that you have at home. They don't care about you being a good person. That don't mean nothing to them. They about money. So with that being said, that's a cruel world that we live in. And sometimes we can't change the world that we live in. All we can do is adapt. So with that being said, you hate to tell a girl, safety 101, But
Right.
it's like you have to adapt to the environment that you're in. You know what I'm saying? When I go around certain areas, I know, okay, bet, like I'm gonna be ready,
Right.
you know, because I know where I'm at, type thing.
Right.
And it sucks as a woman that damn near anywhere you go, you got to think that
You gotta
way.
think
But
this,
this is more for your safety and not
Facts. That's what you got to think
for your
about at the end of
comfort.
the day.
You know what I'm
For
saying?
your safety.
Yeah. And it's like, it sucks. It sucks. You really just wish there was a way that it wouldn't be like that. I wish there wouldn't be perverts to where you go to the gym and they be all on you and stuff like that, or you can't go out to the club without someone trying to drug you and stuff. But that's the world that we live in.
Yeah.
So you have to move with the precautions and whatnot. You know, over time, cars started to change over time to where we get into accidents, we're safe. It's the same thing with women that should know over time, hey, we got to start adapting to our surroundings and knowing, like, shit, we're going to have to start protecting ourselves.
Facts, to be safe.
And like I said, I'd much rather be able to see somebody after they killed somebody than to lose them and never talk to them again.
Facts, for sure.
Like, especially in situations like that, you'll never get to see them, and you never know how that really went down. And, you know, I'd rather someone that fought back, type thing.
Nah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
I appreciate your outlook on that, man. But go ahead and wrap it up, man. It's the first episode of A Baker's Dozen. I want to shout out my guest, Roscoe.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you for being here, man. But hey, I just want y'all to tune in, man. We coming bigger and better things. Just stay tuned. You're gonna see. Just follow greatness as it starts. Like I want y'all to be here from the beginning and watch how this grows and what happens with it when you put your mind and you put everything into something and you want it to just come to fruition. So, man, shout out to all the listeners, man. Shout out to y'all, man. A Baker's Dozen on Instagram, Baker's 2 Dozen on Instagram, Baker's 2 Dozen on Twitter, Baker's Man Joe on Instagram. Y'all go follow my boy Roscoe Motor on Twitter, Roscoe Motor on Instagram as well.
Yeah.
Man, we out.
Yes, sir.
We Pound Grader.